Oh my goodness. Happy Wednesday to everybody there. We are here live with you. Frank here as always. Maybe a little bit sadder, a little more worse for the wear being a Florida State fan. You all right, buddy?
Ooh, that's unfortunate.
He's at peace with it. Of course, Icky and I being Duck fans, big scare over the weekend.
Yeah, that was not a good game. Not a good opener.
So everybody
Painful to be at.
Everybody can meet Mr. Icky, or Ichabod, if you will. I worked with Icky at KNRQ in Eugene, which, by the way, when I was there, totally different frequency on the radio.
Yes, they had to switch things up. That frequency got purchased.
It was, we were Rock 97.9 NRQ, and now it is
103.7.
I knew it. I almost said 103.5. But thanks for coming on there, Icky. We got some fun things all lined up for you guys today. I do have a joke for you, though, Frank. Are you ready?
Dude.
Why are you choosing now to eat?
I got hungry.
Hold on,
I'm in a depressive state.
Oh, your microphone's
bad memories.
Your microphone's really quiet. Hold on here. Oh, there you go. You get to see the volume.
User volume.
User volume. We've turned Frank up a little bit. This is all the fun stuff that everybody gets to see. Anna's in the chat. Nightmares in the chat. Hello, everybody. All right, Frank, I got a joke for you. Are you ready?
Sure.
What's classy if you're rich, but trashy if you're poor?
Biggins.
Close, because the real answer is Florida.
Oh.
Frank is by way of Tallahassee, and then we should probably tell Icky that there was a strip club in Daytona that Frank went to that was legitimately called Biggins, and the O's had nipples.
Yeah, they did.
Or no, the G's. It would be the G's, right?
Yeah, it's the G's.
The G's. The G's had nipples. All right.
Strip clubs in Florida, is that a very Florida thing, or are they like the rest of the world?
Further south you go, you get more of them, like Tampa and Miami.
But are they risky to be in? Or like, are you getting yourself in a bad situation in a Florida strip club? Because here in Oregon, they're just everywhere.
Again, depends where you are. If you're in Tampa and Miami, you might be fine, but
I just recently saw a story out of Tampa. Yeah, some guy like rammed his car through the club in the middle of the day.
Yeah, he's probably drinking or on meth.
Yeah.
Yeah, down in South Florida, it's purely dependent on where you're at, because there's a few that were, I guess, nicer clubs, and then there was one where I hosted an amateur contest, and basically there's a drug. I don't want to call him a drug lord, but he was a big-time drug dealer who would come sit in the VIP section, and no matter what sort of audience participation we got going on, he would just choose the winner. So that's how that went. Good start to the show, though. I love this. All right, what do we have coming up? So we're going to be talking about Chris Cornell coming up, Beetlejuice. Obviously, the new movie's coming out this weekend. The Price is Right, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and True Romance. Those are all things that you probably didn't know. We're going to do something called Three Truths and a Lie. So Icky and I have both been, well, I'm no longer in radio, and I think Icky was out of radio for a couple of years, right? But now you're back in.
Yeah, I dipped out for about 6 years, and now I'm back.
And so through our time in radio, we've been able to do some pretty fun, some pretty cool, some pretty crazy things. Frank lives in Tallahassee, Florida, so he just gets that naturally
fun things.
by way of birth. So we're going to do Three Truths and a Lie. And it's going to be, obviously, three things that you say are true, and one of them is a lie. And then we're going to throw it to the chat, and you guys... yeah, Anna's saying she can barely hear you, Frank. Is your microphone still down?
Maybe.
That sounds better.
I tell you, my computer reset.
Yeah, and that's why I was adjusting your mic.
I have to go back and check my own settings at some point.
All right, well, I got it cranked up all the way. Anna, let me know if you can hear him or not. I got him cranked up to 200%. This one goes to 11. So I don't know. I'll have to wait and see. So three truths and a lie. Essentially, we're going to say three things that are true, one is false. We're going to play some 90s trivia. And then for the movie draft, I always try to do the movie draft wrapped around an actor who is celebrating a birthday. There wasn't a lot of good choices for this past week that I would line it up on. So instead, with Icky being a rock radio guy like I was, we're going to do rock and roll movies for the draft.
Nice.
All right. So now Anna's saying Icky and I are loud. So, well, my volume's the same. So we're normal. And I got Frank cranked up all the way. Say something, Frank.
Something.
Yeah, you are really quiet, man. Hold on.
I don't know what it is. Maybe it.
Keep talking.
Don't know.
Nothing like troubleshooting live on the stream.
Hey,
Yeah.
this is just live. This is the way it is.
Oh shoot! Hold on. I gotta turn Icky down because there's like 5 different volumes on this thing. Oh, she said no. I mean you're normal. Yeah, damn straight we're normal. Oh, get out of there. All right.
Get
All right.
out of there.
Yeah, Frank, you're super fucking quiet, man.
I don't know. It was working fine.
Here, let me do this. I'm gonna boost this up all the way, and then I'm gonna turn Icky back down. All right. All right. Yeah, you're just gonna have to talk like right into your mic there, Frank.
Very loud.
Oh shit! Yeah, that just blew everybody's eardrums, dude.
You're welcome.
All right. This is exactly what we want to do on a live stream, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so that's all the shit that we have coming up. First things first, though, we got to get to the YouTube polls last week. The one that we were talking about, I put it up last Wednesday. We discussed it on last week's show, but it hadn't really had enough run of the votes yet. So I'm bringing it up again. It was, what is the greatest courtroom moment in film history? And the options are A Few Good Men, I Want the Truth, A Time to Kill, the closing statement from Matthew McConaughey, My Cousin Vinny, Pause Attraction, not Utes, Pause Attraction, and To Kill a Mockingbird, closing. So, Icky, which one do you think won the poll?
I think the winner of the poll would be Killing Mockingbird.
All right, Frank, which one do you think won the poll?
We're going with Tom Cruise. We want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
He is going with I Want the Truth, You Can't Handle the Truth, and Frank scores the point. 47% of the people voted for A Few Good Men. Unfortunately, 14% for To Kill a Mockingbird. My Cousin Vinny, only 27% too. I would have voted for that. Only problem is I
haven't seen it.
I make the damn polls, so I don't get to vote on. I mean, I guess I could if I really wanted to. All right, make sure you guys are letting me know about the volumes over there because I've got screens over here, and you know.
Screens.
Let me know. All right, next poll. What is the best Netflix original series?
Ooh.
Fucking dogs barking. Black Mirror, Narcos, Stranger Things, or The Crown? Frank, which one do you think won the poll?
Stranger Things.
Frank is Stranger Things. Icky, what do you think?
It's got to be Stranger Things. I'll just say the Crown, out of nowhere.
Yeah, you can pick the same one if you want.
Stranger Things is probably the winner, yeah.
Abso-freaking-lutely. Yeah, Stranger Things, Runaway, 66% of the vote. Somebody had commented, where's Cobra Kai? I didn't think about putting Cobra Kai on there because it's actually not a... I mean, it is Netflix now, but remember, it started on
YouTube.
Yeah, it started on YouTube Red.
Yeah, I watched it for free that first season because they were trying to put it out there.
By the way, not to be confused with RedTube. I'm just throwing that out there.
That would have been a weird place for Cobra Kai to land.
Okay, next
other kind of movie.
Next YouTube poll. Which original MCU Avenger had the best movies? Captain America, Iron Man, or Thor? Icky, who do you think won the poll?
Iron Man.
He says Iron Man. Frank, what are you saying?
Yeah, it was Iron Man.
Frank says Iron Man, and you both... Look at you guys running away with it. I think I got to turn Icky down just a little bit here.
Pretty sure Thor was probably last. He's had two.
Yeah, which is weird because like the first one was good. Ragnarok was amazing.
Yeah.
But then
I
of
think
course
the Thor movies are better than the Captain America ones just because they had a little more humor in them.
But see, I like Winter Soldier, fantastic movie, and Civil War, I think, is one of the best MCU movies of all.
Okay.
Hold on,
I kind of fell off the MCU after they got to like movie 29 or so. I had a hard time keeping up.
Where they had 29 more.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the last one that I saw that I was really excited for. It's probably Spider-Man, No Way Home.
Deadpool.
Oh yeah, Deadpool. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, Deadpool. Right.
Deadpool was friggin' amazing. All right, next YouTube poll. Here we go, because you guys, in case you didn't know this, NFL season kicks off tomorrow. Who is going to win this season's Super Bowl? Your options are the Kansas City Chiefs, Ichabod's San Francisco 49ers, the Baltimore Ravens, or, and as the fourth option, I just put somebody else. Like you can take the field. So, Icky,
Okay.
which one do you think won the poll?
Those are all good options, unfortunately. I really don't want to see the Chiefs do it again. And with all the Taylor Swift involvement, I'm going to say they're not going to do it. I'm going with Niners.
He's going with Niners. All right. Frank?
And everybody jumped on the Chiefs bandwagon, so I'm sure they went with the Chiefs.
No.
The field?
The field. 48% of the people chose the field. Now, if we're just basing it on the teams, Kansas City Chiefs had 27%, Niners had 13%, Ravens had 11%. By the way, did you guys see the apparent leaked contract about Kelsey and
Taylor
the old
Swift
Swifties breakup there?
Yeah, no way that's real. No way.
The NFL
yeah.
Don't leave contracts like that laying around on a desk when something big like that's going to
Yeah,
happen.
no.
And they'll be watermarked as well, and that wasn't.
All right, next YouTube poll. This one actually has to do with last week's movie draft, and it was Jack Black that we did last week. So what is Jack Black's best movie? The four options I put up there: High Fidelity, Kung Fu Panda, School of Rock, or Tropic Thunder. Frank, which one do you think won the poll?
Airborne.
It's not Airborne. Although Frank drafted Airborne, by the way, last week.
It's a great movie.
He totally drafted it.
It's gonna be School of
Can you
Rock.
go through the four again? That totally threw me off.
Okay, so Frank is saying it's School of Rock. The four options are High Fidelity, Kung Fu Panda, School of Rock, and Tropic Thunder.
I would say High Fidelity, but that wasn't really his movie. So I'm going to go with Tropic Thunder.
Well, one of you gets a point. And it's Frank. School of Rock, 50% got the vote. 20% for Tropic Thunder. High Fidelity, I frickin' love. And I think it's
a good movie.
One of the first times I really remember Jack Black. Now, obviously, I had seen him previously in movies like Mars Attacks, but I think High Fidelity was the first one where he really kind of stole scenes, if you will. Only 3%
One of those guys that was small roles in a lot of, like, Cable Guy. I forgot he was in that until I watched it again recently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we kind of went over this last week where you see all these movies from the 90s, like Airborne.
Airborne.
that Frank
X-Files.
That Frank drafted X-Files as well. All right, again, so next YouTube poll. This one actually also going back to last week's episode where we talked about Sons of Anarchy. Did you ever watch Sons of Anarchy, Icky?
I did not.
It's a fantastic show. Highly recommended. So then
I haven't seen a lot of the shows that people obsess about. I've never seen Breaking Bad.
Ooh.
I've never seen
Breaking Bad.
What's the Dragon show on HBO? Dang it.
Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones. Thank you. Never seen it.
Don't like I can say watch Sons of Anarchy, watch Breaking Bad, do not watch Game of Thrones. It will be the most disappointing thing ever.
Well, watch up until like the last season. You don't have to watch the last season.
Because even then you're like, you're gonna be like, what's gonna happen? And you're like,
just
there's
make up
2
your own
seasons.
story.
And then
Just
there's
make up
one
your own
whole
story.
there's one whole fucking episode that you can't even see because they were like, well, we made this for super high def 4K and we were hoping people would change their televisions, and it's like, it's terrible.
Just create your own story, and it'll probably be better than what they had.
Yes, exactly. All right, well, then this one's for Frank. So you can just shoot from the hip here, Frank. What was the most shocking death in Sons of Anarchy? I put Bobby, Opie, Piney, or Tara.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure we went with Opie.
Yeah, you get the metaphorical point. All right, now here's one I just put up today.
Uh-oh.
With Icky in mind, by the way. You can hang out with one rock star for a night. Which rock star are you choosing? And I specifically kept it to rock stars who are alive. So the options are Dave Grohl, James Hetfield, Paul McCartney, or Weird Al Yankovic. Icky, who do you think won that poll?
I'm going to go with Dave Grohl.
All right.
Yeah, at least you'd get 2 or 3 solid good hours before he fell asleep. The others, I think, would be in bed before 9 o'clock.
All right, so you're both going Dave Grohl?
Yeah.
Yeah, you both get the point. Now, it's interesting because if I had done this 2 hours ago, do you guys know who would have been leading the poll?
Weird Al?
Yeah. At one point, Weird Al was actually in a pretty commanding lead, and then it took a little bit for Dave Grohl on the comeback.
Because all the nerds were awake and then they went to bed.
I would go with Paul McCartney on a secondary one just to hear the stories, but
Paul
you
McCartney.
kind of nailed it with "He Might Fall Asleep."
About how they all like lost their virginity together or something like that. Wasn't that a Beatles story?
Really?
Was that? I didn't really.
Same
I wouldn't
woman?
Be surprised.
I mean,
Biggins?
I could be completely off, but I always remember that there was a story that the Beatles basically all lost their virginity in like one giant orgy or something like that. Now I gotta like fact check it because now I could be completely full of crap and just leading everybody astray.
Fantastic.
That would be.
It doesn't sound very British.
It does not. All
Probably
right.
when they were visiting France.
All right, so that's going to do it for the YouTube polls. Again, you can find these things over on my YouTube channel. They used to have it in a section that was called Community, and now it's actually on Post. So if you go to my YouTube channel, look under the Real Brandalorian, you'll see like home and videos and shorts and stuff like that. If you go over to Posts, that's where you'll find all of these, and you can actually go in and vote on them throughout the week. And then every week we recap all of the posts or all the polls that had gone up that the previous time. All right, it is time for things you didn't know. I'm going to show you a picture here, Frank.
Picture.
Yeah! No copyright. Anybody who watches the stream knows exactly the strain that I go through for that. All right, so Frank, I'm going to show you a picture here. And what are your first thoughts when I show you this? Who is this?
It's Chris Cornell.
It is. Soundgarden's Louder Than Love was released.
You know the first thing I think of, though? Sorry, cutting you off. Is a Black Hole Sun video, and that freaked the shit out of me when I was like 13 years old. Especially when everyone's face went super long.
Yep. Loved that video. I think there was like 3 or 4 music videos I specifically remember just waiting on like for MTV to play. Black Hole Sun was one of them. Beastie Boys Intergalactic, which obviously was like 4 years later after that one. Gosh, and there's a couple more, but like you have those music videos that are like deeply ingrained in your brain. And
Barbie Girl by Aqua. That was your third one.
Okay.
Some
Yes,
of
it
Eminem's
was.
videos, those will be like forever living in my brain.
So, Louder Than Love released on September 5th, 1989. Icky, here's a question for you. Do you know what Chris Cornell's real name is?
Oh.
Or was, I should say.
No, I don't, actually. I always kind of assumed that was his real name, but never thought twice about it.
Christopher John Boyle.
You related
Cornell's
to
better.
Susan Boyle?
I doubt it. He was born July 20th, 1964. Unfortunately, he passed away on May 18th, 2017. Oh, now here's what I get to tell Icky about my... I thought at one point I was the Grim Reaper of rock stars. So, working here in El Paso, the radio company that I worked for, we also did Loudwire Nights. Like, with like Pop Crush Nights and stuff like that. And so I hosted Loudwire Nights. I was the backup host. And the first time I was supposed to back up was when Chris Cornell passed away. Now, it was Tony Gonzalez on at the time, who I worked with down in Florida. She was on vacation, and all of a sudden we're like, she already recorded everything for tonight. We got to figure out what the hell we're going to do. So then I had to scramble, re-record everything, and resend out all of the files to all of the radio stations because we had to essentially change everything to do a tribute to Chris Cornell. The same thing happened when Tom Petty died and Chester Bennington died. Like 3 of the first...
You are the Grim Reaper.
Yeah, it was like 3 or 4 of the first 5 times I hosted Loudwire Nights, a major rock star died. Like, it got to the point with Chester, which was like a year later, I went to my boss, I'm like, I don't think I can do this anymore because every single time they're dropping like flies. Now, selfishly, it's like, well, it's giving me content, but I would rather have the rock star around, so maybe not have me on anymore, but that was my...
Well, now they're just about to announce Chester's replacement tomorrow.
Oh, is that actually what they're doing?
they're not actually telling anybody. Even the record label doesn't know what their plan is. But I don't know what else they are going to count down to tomorrow. They're doing a full live stream at 5 o'clock Pacific time to announce what their next plan is. I'm not really sure what it's going to be. That's just my assumption.
That's kind of what we assumed, because they had this whole thing that was it was a countdown, and then when it hit 0, it just started counting up. That was it.
Yeah, which is such a dick tease. But yeah, they're going to do a show tomorrow. I think it's going to be Lizzie Hale from Hailstorm. They're going to bring in personally.
That'd be good.
But we'll find out.
Yeah, I saw that everybody was hoping it would be Amy Lee from Evanescence as well.
She would be good, but she doesn't have some of the Chester screams that Lizzie can pull off.
True. Lizzie's got just a fantastic voice. She would do it. Yeah. She would definitely do it justice. So, do you, in your time in radio, Icky, do you have any Chris Cornell stories? I never got to interview him or meet him or anything.
I never got to interview him. I did get to meet him once when he was doing Audio Slave stuff. I unfortunately never saw him doing Soundgarden, but I met him at the backstage at Lollapalooza in 2003. At Lollapalooza they do a warm-up tent, so I got to sit there and watch Tom Morello and the rest of the guys from Audio Slave sit there and warm up in a tent, just sitting like 2 feet away from Chris while he's just belting them out. That was one, like, I'm even getting chills right now trying to remember that. That was a glorious moment. And then I saw them again play a small club in Portland called the Roseland. That's when their second album came out.
Oh, I love the Roseland.
Small, yeah, tiny little venue for a band like Audio Slave to play. And they did they did Soundgarden, they did Rage songs, they did Audio Slave, and they closed off the entire show. Chris actually said, I don't deserve to sing to this song. It was Bulls on Parade. So Tom Morello just soloed the entire thing as if it was lyrics. And
damn.
It was one of the most incredible shows I've ever seen in my life.
So I never actually saw them as Audio Slave. I did get to see him with Soundgarden, though, and it was actually this tour. It was 9 Inch Nails and Soundgarden. This was 2014. I believe, because if you think of the big four of grunge, you've got Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, Nirvana, and Pearl Jam. Soundgarden was always the one that I gravitated towards the most, and then probably Alice in Chains after that. Like the two more popular ones, like Nirvana and Pearl Jam, great, I love them, but if I'm ranking them, Alice in Chains and Soundgarden are at the top of my list. So to be able to see them before he actually passed away was a major checkbox for me.
He will forever be one of the greatest frontmen, just vocals ever.
So he was in. Let me see where I got my notes here, real quick. I'm getting distracted because my dogs will not shut the fuck up. By the way, it's driving me nuts. It's driving me up a fucking wall. Once we get through Soundgarden here, I'm gonna go let them out. But so back to Chris Cornell here. So he was in a cover band called the Shimps. And at one point, that band actually had Kim Thayil, future Soundgarden guitar player, in it. And then Cornell was also in, and I grabbed this off the internet. I don't even know if this is a poster of actually them, but he was in a satirical Western swing band called Center for Disease Controlled Boys. And he was with them from 1986 to 1987.
And Miss Jones.
And Miss Jones with Girl Trouble. When I first saw this, I saw Screaming Sirens, and my brain went Screaming Trees. Obviously, that's not Screaming Trees that are on the poster there. And again, that might not even be the right one. I don't know. But he was apparently in a Western swing band. Now, it's also really well known that Chris Cornell was good friends with Andrew Wood, who was the lead singer of Mother Love Bone. That's actually the first band that Shim and I did a history of rock on. So for anybody who isn't familiar with the history of rock, it's a podcast that Shim and I did, the former lead singer of Sick Puppies, where we would do a deep dive on albums or festivals or other things like that. And we started with Mother Love Bone, because then we went from Mother Love Bone into Temple of the Dog, which we're going to get to here in just a moment, and then into Pearl Jam, and we kind of covered the grunge movement, at least for the most part. So that obviously being Chris Cornell right there in his Nirvana shirt. And Andrew Wood, who was the lead singer of Mother Love Bone, he did pass away 4 months before their debut album. They were supposed to be kind of the first big grunge band.
They would have been huge if he would have survived. But Pearl Jam still plays Mother Love Bone songs live to this day.
And So if you don't know, so Mother Love Bone had Stone Gossard and Jeff Ament, and then they would go on to do Temple of the Dog, because Temple of the Dog was Chris Cornell's tribute to Andrew Wood after he passed away. And the reason that Eddie Vedder is also in Temple of the Dog is because he was in town to audition for the band, which at the time was being called Mookie Blaylock.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of
They
how.
got sued.
What's that?
Before they got sued for using that name,
Yeah.
because Mookie didn't like it.
And so that's kind of how all of that stuff comes together. And then obviously eventually Temple of the Dog, basically that band, you take out Chris Cornell, and it really was Pearl Jam. And finally, Cornell was involved with a lot of different movies. He had a small role in the movie Singles, which is all about single people up in Seattle, kind of during the grunge movement. He also had some songs on the soundtrack. There was Soundgarden's Birth Ritual, as well as his solo song, Seasons, were on that. His song, You Know My Name, was the James Bond theme song. And it was the first one that was written and performed by an American. I'm sorry, written and performed by an American male, as well as the first one since 1983's Octopussy to have a different title than the film. And it was also the first one that did not appear on the soundtrack, although some of the songs kind of used snippets of that song. And that was obviously for Casino Royale. And then finally, in 2012, for the Avengers, Soundgarden had their first song in 15 years with Live to Rise. That was on that motion picture. Checking in the YouTube chat really quick. Chris over there says, Heaven Send Hell Away. No one sings like him anymore. He was my hero, still is. Yeah, it's a good hero to have, man.
That was Buckcherry. They were on that.
Is that that's what you took out of that?
I
That's
was
what
looking
you
at
took
all
out
of
of
them.
that?
I was looking at all of them, and then you just see random Buckcherry.
Well, you got Shinedown, Rise Against, Papa Roach, Black Veil Bride,
Right,
Scott Weiland,
right.
Bush, Evanescence, and so
Right.
Buckcherry's what stands out?
And yeah, then just Buckcherry. I don't know.
All right, well, to each their own, I guess. All right, next thing
They had
here.
like 2 good songs, and that was it.
Buckcherry, Buckcherry, man, they got to go listen to one of their albums. It's just good rock and roll, man.
I'm all lit up again, and what was that one? It was like fucking me or something. I can't-
No. It was a song that was about Paris Hilton.
Yeah, so she's fucking him.
Yeah, basically. Coincidentally enough, Josh Todd, the lead singer, I got to do an interview with him and Tommy Lee one time. Fucking awesome, dude. I'm telling you. Those two together were a riot. And Tommy Lee by himself, by the way, best interviews I've ever done is with that guy. That guy's
Great
awesome.
dude. Super
He
fun.
pull his penis out.
No, thank God. Although this was before, when I was doing these interviews, it was before we had any sort of a video conferencing. So he might have had it out for all I know.
Oh, so it wasn't in person?
No.
Oh, good, because he would have forced you to drink Jaeger.
Gross.
Trust me. He tours with a full fridge full
Oh.
of Jaeger. It's insane. Yeah.
Oh, it gives me a headache just thinking about it.
Yeah.
Ichabod, I'm going to show you a picture here, and I want to know what you think of when I show you this.
Wow.
Well, you know what that
like
is,
Beetlejuice.
right? Okay, good.
Yeah, it looks like the graveyard, the little play area for Beetlejuice.
The thing that
Going to
always
Biggins.
it looks like Biggins. The thing that always stunned me is when Gina Davis is like, "Why did you build that?" And he's like, "I didn't." And it's like, you really
Yep.
think that he would have built that there? Like, you legitimately thought that? So the original Beetlejuice, and obviously we're talking about this now because Beetlejuice is coming into theaters. The original was released March 30th, 1988, and it made $74.7 million at the box office on a $15 million budget.
You know what's so wild is you could like take that and put that in a Pee Wee Herman movie, and it would fit.
Yeah, I mean, it's Tim Burton.
That
Totally.
would fit perfectly
Good pull.
into a Pee Wee Herman.
Actually, you know what would go like right about here, right on the front? That creepy ass clown that
Yep.
Pee-wee tied his bicycle to. It scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. So,
What the-
did you
There's a lot
know?
of creepy things about the Pee Wee movies.
Oh, big time. Did you guys know Beetlejuice, technically Oscar-winning film?
Technically, for
It won an Oscar.
Makeup?
makeup.
Yeah, best makeup.
Yeah.
And the Warner Brothers, one of the execs, or a few of the execs, they didn't like the name Beetlejuice, and they wanted to title it House Ghosts.
House Ghosts.
And at one point, they even jokingly said that it should be called Scared Sheetless. In an early draft of the film, an early draft of the script had Beetlejuice being destroyed by exorcism.
Okay.
And the house shrinking down to the size of of the model townhouses, like the ones that are all here. Like the whole house actually shrinking down to that size. The Maitlands move into the model house, and actually the Dietzes, the rest of the family moves back to New York, but Lydia stays in Connecticut, where she's raised by the Maitlands.
As miniatures?
That's the one thing I never quite understood when I was reading up on that, was I was trying to figure out, like, what the heck, like, so how would that work? Like, would they be living in the little house and then they could kind of come out and grow larger and she was there? Like, I don't really know.
They become the new Beetlejuice and they're like pushed into this new tiny world.
Ooh, that would see, I like how you're thinking. So Tim Burton's first choice to play Beetlejuice was not Michael Keaton. Do either of you know who it was?
Paul Rubens.
It was not Paul Rubens, and it was
I just
not
wanted to
Bob
keep it
Cousy either.
Robin Williams.
No idea.
Sammy Davis.
Really?
Sammy Davis Jr. That was his first thought, and then one of the producers from, producer David Geffen, he recommended Michael Keaton for the role, and obviously Michael Keaton landed the role of Beetlejuice, and then he would go on to be Batman as well. Some other characters.
Another role that people didn't really want him in when they first got it.
Yeah,
Batman.
no kidding. So some other people that were considered for some of the roles, like Delia Dietz, was, originally who was cast in that role was Angelica Houston.
Okay.
She ended up having to back out due to illness. Catherine O'Hara also declined the offer, but changed her mind after Tim Burton flew out to meet her and convinced her face to face.
I mean, I think
Angela, she's fantastic.
I think Angela Houston could have pulled it off, though. She was great in Addams Family.
Oh, absolutely. She would have been fantastic. But Catherine O'Hara also hit a home run with it as well.
Yeah.
Now, apparently, a lot of actresses had turned down the role of Lydia Dietz, including Lori Loughlin, Diane Lane, Sarah Jessica Parker, Brooke Shields, Justine Bateman, Molly Ringwald, and Jennifer Connelly.
All right. I mean, no big loss there.
Now, this kind of goes...
I think they nailed it.
Now, this kind of goes to something that Frank has mentioned before in regards to Beetlejuice and the new movie and how he's barely in it.
Yeah.
He's barely in the first one.
Yep.
So the whole movie runs 92 minutes. He is only on screen for 17 and a half minutes. So the movie's named after him, and he's barely in it. And finally, test audiences actually liked the character Beetlejuice so much that they wanted a happier ending than what the original ending had showed.
Why?
I mean, do you really hate Beetlejuice in the movie?
He's supposed to be the heel of the movie, though. Even though he's funny, he's supposed to be the bad guy. You don't.
True.
I mean, he's a demon.
True.
Poltergeist.
See, that's what I'm wondering.
What I'm doing.
Become friends, and that's the way it ends. That's not a fun ending.
They made a cartoon.
Well, no, I was
Be
gonna
happy
say that.
with
Yeah,
the
they become
cartoon.
friends, and they jump into a cartoon together.
Yeah. All these idiot people.
All right, Frank, I'm going to show you a picture, and I want to know what you think of this.
Oh, those were staying home in the mid '90s and waiting for that to come on in midday. Before the stupid soap operas came out. When you get stuck with 4 channels, kids may not understand that. When you were stuck with 4 channels for a period of time, and you were home from school, either sick or just didn't want to go to school, this was your midday break right here.
It was the entertainment. So Price is Right debuted back on September 4th, 1972, and there was an earlier version of the show that actually ran from 1956 to 1965, and no, that is not Bob Barker.
It does look like Jim Carrey a little bit, though. That's funny.
Oh my, yeah, I never even thought about that. Yeah, it does. It totally does. So in the original version of the show, you could actually mail in your bids And if you got it exactly right to the penny, you got the prize.
He looks so thrilled back there, by the way. He's like, when did my career go wrong?
Oh, he's super pumped. Look at that.
Oh, he's thrilled.
It's just a weird place to be. He's just sitting on the desk like that, looking over it. It's awkward.
He's like, nobody's watching this.
I mean, it ran for 9 years, so somebody was watching it. And actually, going back to both versions of the show, it's technically aired on all 3 major networks. The first version started on NBC. It made the jump over to ABC. And then the version that we know now that started in 1972 has been on CBS.
Price is wrong, Bob.
Also, did you know that Bob Barker, back in 1987, he got permission to stop dyeing his hair?
I was about to say, it's a good dye job.
So before that... What's that?
Must have been a very impressive showcase for $38,000 in 1987.
I know,
There's
right?
some cool stuff in that.
That was a trip to California.
And a new car. So, no daytime hosts at this time actually showed sort of their natural age. So if you had white or gray hair, it was dyed all the time. There was nobody on daytime TV. So he was the first one to do it, and it paid off. Because when he stopped dyeing his hair and he showed up as the Bob Barker that we remember with the white hair.
Silver Fox.
The Silver Fox, Bob Barker. They got flooded with mail complimenting him on that, and their ratings went through the roof.
All right.
Now, the
Good on
prices
you, Bob.
on the actual show, do you guys know where they come from?
Reader's Digest.
California.
Bob Cousy.
Because, prices are going to fluctuate depending on where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
So they take the prices from California for the items.
Is that why everything's so expensive?
Yes. And then when we're going to talk about Plinko.
Plinko!
I was hoping to get a better picture. It came out really grainy. So the Plinko chips, they go in a lockbox when they're not being used. They go in a lockbox, and there's only 10 of them that have been made. It's the same ones.
Like a Vegas
Well,
thing
it's
where they
because
don't want
they can't
people to
make
mess
them
with them?
anymore.
It's possible. I mean, it's like you think about the Winter Olympics. The stones that they use for curling all come from this one area of Scotland. Like that's where they smooth out the bowls. Icky, by the way, check out what I found in Hawaii. It's coral that looks like a set of balls.
Hey, you're not supposed to take that. Isn't that bad luck to take any kind of lava rock
No,
from
that
Hawaii?
was the medallion that. That was that thing.
Oh, Brady Brunch?
Yeah,
Brady Brunch?
the tiki guy.
Okay.
All right, what else I got? Oh, so the show also, I mean, obviously they go through a ton of cars. They have their own car lot that's nearby because they feature around 3 cars per episode. And to change it up to make sure that they're always showing new cars, they have their own lot that's down the street. And that's where they bring the cars in from. Which, by the way, when did they start giving out Audis and Porsches? I always thought it was here's a Geo Metro.
That must have been like a primetime thing that they did one time.
That must be a special one because usually it's you guys are saying like Geo Metro with nothing extra in it whatsoever.
Honda
It's got a
Escort.
tape player in that bitch.
Was that Frank?
Honda Escort.
With hand crank windows.
Yeah.
And finally,
Your Ford Fiesta.
The Ford Fiesta. There's been one person that has guessed the Showcase Showdown down to the dollar. Dude guessed it right. His name, the
Only
contestant.
once ever?
As far as from what I have seen, there's only one person who guessed it to the exact dollar. The contestant's name was Terry Meese. I'm guessing it's Kniess. He did this back in 2010. Go watch the clip online. Drew Carey could not care less. He legitimately, he's got the card. He pulls the card out and then he starts reading the card and he's like, he goes, your estimate $23,743 and the actual retail price $23,743. And he goes, legitimately goes, you got it on the nose. Taps the card and then starts telling people to spay and neuter their pets.
It's probably because nobody on the show even knew that he was the first one to ever do it. I would probably.
But even that, I mean, he'd been doing it long enough at that point that you would think, holy shit,
maybe that was the third show of the day, and he was just ready to go home and.
I think I'm telling you, go watch this on YouTube. You can find this clip on YouTube. Go watch this because It blows my mind how bored Drew Carey looks when this guy.
At the same time, that's kind of the reaction he has to everything. Is just kind of neutral.
Maybe that guy was like an asshole, and they just didn't show him being an asshole. The guy could have been like swearing and saying like really like racist things.
I like how that's Frank's explanation. Oh, the guy must have been racist. So why wasn't Drew Carey excited? Because the contestant was racist.
Racist.
All right.
He didn't want to spade his dogs.
Yeah, maybe. Guy. Yeah, he's like, I'm not gonna cut my dog's nuts off.
This is our third time doing this, Terry. Shut the fuck up.
Frank, I'm going to show you another picture. I want to get your first impressions on this.
Oh, that's like the most heartbreaking scene of that entire series. Why don't he want me?
It is Fresh Prince of
That
Bel-Air.
almost made me cry as a kid watching that.
How come you don't want me, man? And
That was
then
probably
Uncle Phil,
his best acting job ever.
Uncle
that
Phil
one
with the
scene.
hug. Oh.
Yeah, he didn't know he was hugging Shredder though.
So the Fresh Prince
Welcome
of Bel-Air.
to the Foot Clan.
It debuted September 10th, 1990. Now, Will Smith took the role because he was in deep crap with the IRS. Did you guys know that?
No.
So
Spent all his rapping money.
Yeah.
I was about to say.
So he almost declared bankruptcy, but he was saved by the role, which helped him pay $2.8 million that he owed the government. And because of the IRS problems, for the first 3 seasons of the show, 70% of his paychecks went to the government.
Say, he really didn't make a lot of money.
He did not, at least not for the first 3 seasons. Now, that house that is always shown, which you can see a picture here with DJ Jazzy Jeff and Will Smith, it's actually not in Bel Air. It's in nearby
San Francisco.
Brentwood.
Wow.
Can either of you do
OJ's
the
house.
Carlton dance?
Yeah.
Frank can do
Not
it?
successfully.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, is there...
All you got to do is the arms, and then you move your legs, back and forth. That was everybody always intimidated him when we were kids in the 90s. It was.
This
like
is
a
where
funny
I
thing
need
to
to be
do.
able to zoom out because we only got Frank's head on that. We didn't get the... There you go. So the Carlton dance is actually a combination of 2 different dances. Do you guys know which ones they are?
I've heard it, but I've forgotten.
So one of
I
them,
heard him explain it before.
it's Courtney Cox
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
from the Bruce Springsteen video.
Look at Bruce Springsteen. He looks like he's going through a fit at that particular moment. Like he looks like he might be on the spectrum.
Or he's going in for like a vampire bite or something like
Kind
It's
of,
our
yeah.
third fucking time, Courtney.
Or he's making sure it's not a dude with that haircut.
I'm sure Bruce Springsteen checked it out beforehand. He's
So-
pretty much known to cheat on every woman he's ever been with.
So that was one. So that's one of the parts. The other one actually comes from Eddie Murphy. The white people dance from Delirious. It's those 2 put together that were the formation of the Carlton dance. Now, Jeffrey,
Now,
what's up?
did he invent that himself and create the dance himself, or did someone tell him to do it?
I think he
came up
with it based on these 2 things.
Okay.
As is my understanding, because I think he tried to like trademark it or something, didn't he?
Oh, he should.
I saw him give an interview like a couple years ago. They asked him about the dance, and he said basically, because I remember the Courtney Cox thing, forgot about Eddie Murphy, but he basically invented it. Yeah, just trying to come up with something because he didn't want it to be, because he'd practiced or grew up in dance with, he was in a Michael Jackson
Pepsi commercial, yeah.
Pepsi commercial. And, I mean, so he could dance, and he just created that one for the show.
Yeah, I remember this all came to light when Fortnite was using the dance in the video game, and he was trying to get basically residuals from them using the dance.
Carlton dance, yep.
Now,
You can do a basketball or a baseball or football game anytime in the last 10 years. They do the Carlton dance on the big screen almost every single time.
yeah,
It's too much fun.
it's because everybody can do it, even us white people.
That's it for me.
All right, so Jeffrey the Butler, did you know that he does have a last name? It's
Is
Butler.
it Butler?
The show?
It's
Did they
Butler.
ever
I was
say
gonna
it?
say, is
The
it
last name is Butler, and his middle name is Barbara. It was Jeffrey Barbara Butler was his
JBB.
name. Now, one of the other things that people thought, it was kind of not a conspiracy, but it was just people believed that the cab driver, do you know who they think that was? He was the creator of the show.
I was gonna say, yeah. I was trying to think of something funny, but I couldn't come up with anything. Like
Quincy Jones. There was a lot of people that thought that it was Quincy Jones, but he was
Really?
not the cab driver. And in fact, Quincy Jones, due to an auto accident at age 14, he's never learned how to drive.
okay, and he won't because he's old.
And finally, do you guys remember the Fresh Prince moving back to Philadelphia?
Oh,
It was I think it was like an episode where he was having like troubles back in Cali or something, and he just wanted to move home or homesick, if I remember right, wasn't it?
Kind of. The show was technically canceled after the 4th season because he had moved back to Philadelphia, and then season 5, and obviously they had so much mail from people saying, how dare you take the show off the air? So season 5, this is from that episode, it kicks off with an NBC executive showing up and bitching about, hey, it's a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, not Philadelphia. And he throws him into a van, and then they bring him back to Bel-Air, and then they kick off season 5.
I met his on-screen mom here in Tallahassee, like in '96 or something.
Original or number 2?
Not aunt.
Oh,
not
his
the
mom.
aunt.
His mom.
His
Yeah,
mom.
yeah.
His mom. Just at some random Jamaican fest here in town. She was standing at the front gate taking collections for stuff.
Should have saved that for 3 truths and a lie.
Nah, it's not that good. I got better ones. I got
3
better
truths
ones.
and a lie. Once I met the Fresh Prince's on-screen mom.
I actually got a picture somewhere. I don't know where it is, but there's a picture of me with
All
Fresh
right.
Prince's mom.
You need to find the picture
I need
so
to
I can
find the
bring it
picture.
up on the
Yeah,
screen.
I do.
Absolutely
It's
need
somewhere.
to. All right, Icky, I'm going to show you a picture. What are your first thoughts when I show you that?
all right. So I know what this is, but I have a confession to make.
Ooh.
This is true romance, right?
Yes.
I've never seen it.
Oh, man, that surprises me a little because it's a damn good movie. And you're about to...
Actually, I don't know why I never watched it. It's never fallen in the lineup.
You know what? I'm going to look up right now. We're going to go to justwatch.com, and we're going to see if it's streaming anywhere.
It's on Amazon Prime. I looked at.
Oh, it is? Okay, good.
recently. Yeah.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
it's fantastic, especially after you're going to learn all about it right now. So it was released September 10th, 1993. It made, listen to this, it made $12.6 million at the box office on a $12.5 million budget.
Hey,
Wow.
they hit their mark.
And
They
the
lost money after
movie...
marketing.
The movie was actually, it was a part of Tarantino's first script. Now, we kind of learned this when we talked about Natural Born Killers as well, because he had this script that was a kind of a combination of True Romance, Natural Born Killers, and Pulp Fiction. And of course, those all kind of got separated out. Now, director Tony Scott, he wanted to direct both True Romance and Reservoir Dogs, but Tarantino made him choose one. Tony Scott ended up choosing True Romance. And then, of course, Tarantino would go on to direct Reservoir Dogs.
See,
Now, for the role of Alabama, which ended up going to Patricia Arquette, Tarantino envisioned Joan Cusack, and
okay.
Tony Scott wanted Drew Barrymore, but she was unavailable. And in fact, you hear some
Probably in
stories.
rehab.
You hear some stories that the director, Tony Scott, was kind of obsessed with Drew Barrymore because Patricia Arquette once said that he had pictures of her everywhere wearing little outfits.
Okay, that's not weird.
I'm just saying.
Very professional.
Yes. So, and Val Kilmer also wanted to play Clarence, who ended up getting played by Christian Slater. Kilmer would then end up playing Elvis, although they don't call it Elvis in the movie. So this is a scene. Spoiler alert, Icky, for the if you haven't seen it. So it's a scene where he's kind of having it's a vision. Like he's not like Val Kilmer's not actually there, and it's just that Christian Slater's character is a big Elvis fan. But the problem was Elvis Presley's estate wouldn't allow them to use any of his music or his likeness. So when you see this character, it's just listed as mentor. It's
All
not
right.
actually Elvis.
How is that not a likeness? I mean, look at that. He's
Yeah, I
even
mean,
doing
everybody-
the same hand thing. So
Everybody would know that's Elvis. Yeah.
I don't know, but it makes me want to go watch 10,000 Miles to Graceland. Or 1,000 miles to Graceland? 5,000 miles? However
3,000.
fucking far it is to Graceland. 3,000 miles to Graceland. Thank you, Frank.
3,000.
I was like, 10,000. I'm like, that's all the way around the goddamn globe.
That's the guy walking.
All right. And Tom Sizemore, he ended up playing a different role. He was cast as Virgil, who ended up being played by James Gandolfini.
Didn't he
Now-
play Virgil in Wyatt Earp though?
Sizemore?
Yeah, wasn't he in the
No, that
Wyatt
was
Earp
Sam
movie?
Elliott. Oh, you mean the
No,
White Earp movie
the
with
Wyatt Earp
the
movie.
crappy one? I don't know.
Yeah.
Who cares about that one?
I'm pretty
Look,
sure. Yeah, he was Virgil, and didn't want to say his name or something.
Tombstone's
like that,
Tombstone's the only one that matters.
Bat. No, he was
That's all that
Bat. He
matters.
was Bat. That's right. He was Bat Matheson.
So this scene right here, you can see Patricia Arquette's kind of bloodied up. Tom Sizemore was not a fan of that scene. He didn't want to have to do that because it's that character Virgil beating her up, and Tom Sizemore didn't want to do that. So he recommended James Gandolfini, who at the time was an unknown, but Sizemore knew him from some theater work that they had done together. So then he recommended him for that role.
Do we know why Sizemore didn't want to do that? Because later in life, he actually did do that in real life.
Yeah, I'm surprised
So
he
if
took a
it
moral
was-
stance on
yeah,
something like
I was
that.
like, it's like if that was a moral problem, he didn't live up to it.
Yeah, it didn't last long.
Well, maybe he was thinking it feels a little bit too familiar, and I don't.
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to
maybe
get
people will
this on
figure it
screen.
out.
Look, I do my
Figure it
art to
out.
escape reality, okay? It's an escape for
I'm a
me.
method actor here.
And Quentin Tarantino, he believes that the Sicilian scene, if you don't know what I'm talking about, again, go see the movie. I'm not going to say what they say because they say some words that I'm
They
not
say a
going
lot
to say.
of Sicilian things.
Yeah, Sicilian things. And this is the one where it's Dennis Hopper. Christopher Walken is interrogating him. Tarantino believes that this was the best scene he had ever written up until he wrote the opening to Inglourious Bastards.
Okay.
Which is incredible.
Also, a quick side note from last week's live stream, a young Jack Black was actually cut from True Romance. He played an usher at the movie theater.
There you go.
And finally, the ending of the movie originally in Tarantino's script. You want me to ruin it for you, Icky?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you can't give.
Well, I feel
spoilers.
bad now because
I mean,
it's
after
a really
3 weeks, the
good.
movie's been out.
It's a really good movie, but I feel bad, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So
Okay, no, I still want to watch it because I actually forgot most of these people are in this, so I'll go back and watch it. But spoil it. It's okay.
So the whole movie. So Tarantino's original ending had Christian Slater die, but the director Scott, when he came in, he decided that he thought the movie deserved a happier ending, so he changed it up, and then it was altered just a little bit. Oh, and then also with the script too. The original script from Tarantino, it was written very much in Tarantino fashion, non-linear, like Pulp Fiction. You know, it's gonna be jumping around and stuff, or like Reservoir Dogs. And then the movie ended up just getting filmed with the story happening in a linear manner because that's how Scott wanted to do it. There you go. That's things you should know. My dog is still barking outside my fucking room.
All right.
All right. I didn't figure out what music I wanted to do for this. Oh, here we go. Let's do some smooth jazz. You ready?
Yeah. Foreign music.
Yeah, what's up? All right, we're going to do 3 truths and a lie. So essentially, we're all going to tell 3 truths with 1 lie, and then we're going to throw it to the chat, and the chat is going to guess which one they think is the lie. And I'm going to go
3 truths,
first.
1 lie, or 2 truths, 1 lie?
Huh?
Is it 3 truths, 1 lie, or 2 truths?
3
1
truths, 1 lie. Or you could do 2 if you only have 2. That's perfectly fine. I have
I've
3.
always done the two truths, 1 lie way.
Yeah, I was thinking
can
about it.
do
I thought about cutting it down. I'll do 3. If you want to do 2, just do 2. Because we're running late anyway. But I'll throw it to the chat. And the chat should know most of this stuff because I've told these stories in various podcasts and other things that I've done. So here are my 3 truths and a lie. You guys need to pick out which one is the lie. Number 1, Jim Brewer snuck my family and I into a Metallica concert. Number 2, I stole a plate of spaghetti from Jonathan Davis of Korn. Number 3, I had the Stone Temple Pilots tell me I was the best audio engineer they had ever had. And number 4, I got Bobby Lee to curse on the air twice. So now we're going to throw it to the chat. Frank should know all of these. Icky, I think, is rattling it around in his brain.
Honestly, all of those are believable, so I'm trying to narrow it down to what could be possible lie.
Which way you leaning?
I'm leaning towards the last one, Bobby Lee.
All right. So while we give the chat some time to kind of catch up here, I can tell you that one's not true. I'm sorry, that one is true.
Okay.
That is the truth. So I had him on the air. He did it once, not like really he did it mistakenly, and I hit the dump, and we had one of those. It was a dump that was split into two. So he did it once, and then as we were getting ready to wrap up, I was like, "You just want to curse again one more time?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." And I go, "Go ahead." I'm like, "I got dumped. Go ahead and do it." And he goes, "Fuck!" And so I hit it again. So that one was. Anna is saying number 3 is a lie. Number 3 was I had the Stone Temple Pilots tell me I was the best audio engineer they ever had. That one actually also is true. So, although
Look at that goatee.
You like that?
Right there. I forgot about that thing.
Oh, yeah. Wait, I got another picture where I'm actually facing the camera. So that one, it wasn't technically the Stone Temple Pilots, but so if you're not familiar with who's in this shot, so that's Jay. He was on the morning show at 93 Rock down in Florida. That is, it's the other DeLeo, and I always forget his name. This is Dean DeLeo. That's Richard Patrick of Filter. That is Ray Luzier, now the drummer of Korn. Fuck, and it's going to drive me nuts, and I'm blanking on it.
Bob Cousy.
It's not Bob Cousy, Frank. So there's a better shot of that goatee for you there, Ricky. So the way that it went down was I was in my studio, and this was a group that was called Army. Do you remember Army of Anyone?
Oh yeah, totally.
They had like the one album that came out, and this was the group. It was kind of a super group. And came in, it was before the album was released. They were doing sort of that radio acoustic tour, and they were over in the mic room. I'm recording them in my studio, and they're still kind of learning their songs. Like they had recorded them and stuff, but they still were kind of learning it. One of the tracks they had done, when they were done recording, I start editing it. By the time that they came back, he kind of took the lead on everything. He stood behind me and he was like, "Hey man, I want, can we do verse 1 from take 3, the chorus from this take?" And like he's telling me how he wants it chopped up. And by the time they had come back, I'd finished it. So I turned around and I was just like, "It's already done." And he's like, "No fucking way." And I'm like, "Yeah." And so I played it for him, and he's like, "You're the best fucking audio engineer I've ever seen. Like, I can't believe you did that without even you just already pieced that together." So that one was true. Another one that was true. Yeah, it's totally us with Jim Brewer at Metallica.
Yeah, I remember that story. I knew that one was true.
So again, I'll keep this one short. This was we did talk about this one in an episode of I think it was Rockstar 101. So Jim Brewer was opening up for Metallica. I didn't have tickets, and he's like, "Fucking call me, I'll get you in." And sure as shit, he snuck us in. My kid fell asleep, by the way.
Did he stay with you for the whole show?
What's that?
Did he stay with you for the whole show?
No, he was the opening act, and he kind of bounced around, and it even got to the point where I ended up with 2 tickets. I had won 2 tickets from the station. Like they were giving them to employees, and they just did a random drawing, and I won. And then when we showed, he's like, "Wait a minute." He's like, "You only have 2 tickets." Like we're in his dressing room. And we were going to go head to our seats. He's like, "Well, there's 3 of you, but you only have 2 tickets. What are you guys going to do?" And we're like, "We don't know. Just have the kids sit in front of us." And he goes, No. He's like, "Come with me." So he sneaks us onto the floor and puts us right behind the barricade. And he goes to the security. He's like, "They're with me. Just let them sit here." He comes back with water for us. Like, dude, he was so freaking cool, man. The one that was a lie was I stole a plate of spaghetti from Jonathan Davis of Korn. And actually, this one goes back to when I was working in Eugene. And you remember that tour, Icky, that was Korn and who was it? Korn and Chevelle.
Oh yeah.
And I think Breaking.
Armory.
Yeah, I think Breaking Bad. No, I don't think Breaking. I don't know. Either way, and I remember Al gave me all of the passes and stuff, and I was the one that was corralling the winners. And I remember walking backstage with, was it Jens? Was Korn's tour their road manager? And as we're going back, I see like all of Korn. It was Jonathan and Fieldy and everybody else, and they're loading up their food and they're getting themselves spaghetti. And I'm like, fuck, I'm backstage just have the balls, walk over there and get a plate of spaghetti and act like you belong. Just act like you fucking belong. And I chickened out. And to this day, I still fucking regret not walking over there and getting a plate of spaghetti. So that was my lie.
And that's the one I was sure, 100% sure that was true.
Now, it was close. If I had the balls, it would be true. But unfortunately, I did not.
You have no marbles.
You have no marbles. All right, Icky. 3 truths and a lie.
3 truths? You want to do all 3?
Yeah,
all
fire
right.
away.
So,
yeah, just list all of them, and then we'll see if we can pick it out.
Number 1, I've been in Rolling Stone magazine with Billy Joe Armstrong of Green Day. Number 2, I have a lifetime ban at 3 Las Vegas casinos. Number 3, Snoop Dogg gave me my nickname. And number 4, I was busted in the initial FBI crackdown of Napster.
Damn. I think I know which one it is. I do, but I want to give the chat an opportunity. Frank, where are you leaning at here?
The Snoop Dogg one?
All right, so he's leaning towards Snoop Dogg. So, Icky, while the chat comes up with which one, they go through the list one more time.
All right, I've been in Rolling Stone magazine with Billy Joe Armstrong of Green Day. I have a lifetime ban at 3 Las Vegas casinos. Snoop Dogg gave me my nickname, and I was busted in the initial FBI crackdown of Napster.
All right, we're waiting on the chat. So Anna is leaning towards Snoop Dogg, and I'm going to chime in here, and because I think I know who gave you your nickname, and it was not Snoop Dogg. Is that correct?
Who gave me my nickname?
It was Craig, wasn't it? The dog-faced boy?
No. Well, he actually gave me the original name Ichabod, but he did not give me the Icky nickname.
Oh, see those loopholes in this.
Yeah. You know me, I'm going to do the loopholes.
I could definitely see the FBI thing. The Vegas one. Now look, I finally went to Vegas for the first time earlier this year. And one of the stories that always pops into my head is the one that you told of, like, there was it was you and a group of friends, and there was like a hooker or something, and then you saw her the following day, but she was like in the bushes.
Oh, the hooker that calls into the bushes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, first tell that story, and then we'll get to 3 truths.
It's not really much of a story because we were just stumbling around drunk at 5 a.m. like people do in Las Vegas on the Strip. And there was a series of bushes outside of the Tropicana that we were sitting there drinking our beers, trying to figure out if we should go to sleep or just continue with the day. And she just comes crawling out of there out of nowhere.
But you had seen her. But you had seen her the previous night, right?
Well, we'd seen her, but we weren't like.
No, okay.
Her
I was gonna say, okay, like you didn't have her services, but like. No. You walked by her in like the same spot, and she was trying to hit you guys up, right?
That was clearly her corner and clearly her bushes. I'm not sure where she does her actual activities, but the bushes is where she was spending some time the next day. That's for sure.
Hey.
And she looked rough. I mean, that can pretty much go without saying with the Las Vegas hooker, but it was a bad night.
All right. So so far everybody's leaning towards Snoop Dogg. What's your lie?
Snoop Dogg is my lie.
Hey-o!
I'm sorry. The Las Vegas thing is my lie. Snoop Dogg is real. Snoop Dogg's real.
Oh, Snoop Dogg is real. So he did give you the
real. I misspoke. No, it was the Las Vegas thing. I've only been kicked out of one Las Vegas.
Which one?
It's the one I never want to go to anyway. It's the Luxor.
What'd you do? Can you say it? Look, if you want to refrain, you can plead the fifth. You're perfect. That's perfectly fine.
I'll happily tell a story. That's not an issue at all.
Okay.
So, one night, that's the most unlucky casino I've ever been at. I've never won that place once. I had a night where I lost like $1,000 just in like an hour and a half or so, and was not happy about it leaving. And also, it had a few cocktails. So on the way out, they have this glorious fountain out in front of the main lobby. I decided to get in it. And when the security guard came over to remove me, the thing I thought was a good idea was to kick my shoes at him and then tell him to fuck off. So that didn't go over well. And they walked me out to Las Vegas Boulevard, took my picture, and told me never to come back.
So have you even tried to get back in there? Like, do you think you could get in if you wanted to?
Maybe. But with the facial recognition technology they have today, if they were to actually use that photo, then they'd probably grab me. But at the same time, the Luxor is in that M Life family of casinos, and I go to the MGM all the time. So I really don't care that much.
They cared in that moment, I think, is the big thing.
In that moment. I think it's just a pissed off security guard, and rightfully so.
All right, so you also had Rolling Stone with Billy Joe Armstrong.
Yes. I've been in the Rolling Stone magazine with Billy Joe Armstrong and went to the opening night for the American Idiot Broadway play, and it was a guest of the band. And afterwards, they threw this party that had a barber in the corner for some reason. I talked Billy Joe into giving me a mohawk. And the awful photo of my giant head with a mohawk and Billy Joe made it in Rolling Stone.
I remember that mohawk. That was a good-looking mohawk. You should do that again.
No, it was not. You're lying to me. It was awful. Awful. Never doing that again.
All right. So then, and what was the other one that you had?
Snoop Dogg gave me my nickname. I interviewed Snoop Dogg at the Keller Auditorium in Portland when I was 20 years old, and it was during his Sticky Icky Icky days. And I introduced myself as Ichabod, and he's like, "Oh, like Sticky Icky Icky," and I got on the tape, and that stuck forever. Never went away.
All right. All right, we're on to you, Frank. You got 2 truths and a lie?
I can throw 3 in there. I can come up with something.
That goes 2.
Okay, let's see. My mom met OJ 6 months before he killed Nicole. I high-fived the lead singer of the Mighty Mighty Bosstones, and I've bowled a 300.
I know for sure. I think I actually know what it is. And so I'm going to turn the music up a little bit. I got to go run something out to my wife really quick. So, chat, what do you think it is at Frank? Go through them one more time.
My mom met OJ 6 months before he killed Nicole. I high-fived the lead singer of the Mighty Mighty Bosstones, and I've bowled a 300.
All right, give me 20 seconds here.
You only get 20. After that, game over.
Do you consider yourself a bowler? Do you bowl often, just out of curiosity?
Oh, yeah, I've bowled, always since I was a kid, like 90, 20, 20.
Have you ever been in a bowling league?
Yeah.
Okay.
Youth and adult.
Yeah, that was less than 20 seconds.
Oh, nobody's... Okay, Anna just chimed in. Anna says the third one, Frank. Which one was the third one?
300.
Bowling a 300. I know for a fact that one is true.
Yeah, that one is true.
You've bowled multiple 300 games, right?
No, I've had just one, but I've had a few. I've had like 2 199s, 298, or excuse me, 299s, 298, something like that.
Frank was an
only
avid
one
bowler. All right, so now we're down to the other 2. So I think, Icky, you guess for like of the final 2, which one do you think is not true?
I'm gonna guess the first one, that the OJ thing, based only on the fact that you live in Florida and he was an LA guy.
All right, I'm gonna go. I seem to remember Frank. Anna was confused, by the way. She didn't think you said that you bowled a 300, that you lifted 300 pounds.
I did that too.
I think I remember Frank telling me that his mom had met OJ. I think the part of the lie, though, is that it was 6 months before he killed Nicole.
No, but that's actually true.
Oh, there you go.
That was when he was still with NBC doing the Monday Night Football. She was in Kansas City for a realtors convention, and the Monday night game was there, and they were at a bar, and OJ showed up, and he was there with Joe Montana and Eric Allen. Was it Eric Allen? The running back, whoever the running back was at the time. And I still have a picture of her with Allen. Like, she lost the one with OJ. Well, yeah, it was 6 months before he killed his wife. So
there you go. There's your 3 truths or 2 truths and a lie. Maybe we'll start doing some more of that. That was fun.
Killed his wife. Excuse me.
Yeah, you got to put it. You got to put it in quotes, there, buddy. You got to put it in quotes.
If he did it.
Yeah, if he did it. Well, you can. You can say he did it now. I mean, he's dead.
Yeah, it was the civil court got him.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. We got a score of 3-5. Are you ready?
Ready.
All right. It's time for 90s trivia. We'll go first 1 to 8 total points. Icky's got a little bit of making up to do here. We'll let you go first, Mr. Ichabod.
Okay.
Fuck. And here's the fun part. I'm old enough now, I need glasses to read a fucking card.
Yeah. Old bastard.
Yep. I hate it. All right. Ichabod. Question number 1 for you. What soundtrack to a Kevin Costner flick was the top-selling album of the 1990s in the United States?
Robin Hood. It's got to be Robin Hood.
No. Frank Steele?
What was the question again?
What soundtrack to a Kevin Costner flick was the top-selling album in the 1990s in the United States?
Bodyguard.
Ooh. Yeah, good pull.
The Bodyguard. All right,
I
Frank.
think Brian Williams would have put it over the edge.
Which one was that one?
I'll do anything for you.
Oh, yeah. That was a good soundtrack. That was a good movie, damn it. Look, do a double feature. Christian Slater movies, because Christian Slater is in that Robin Hood.
Slater.
We
Yes,
should
it
do
is.
Christian Slater triple feature. I wonder when he was born. All right, here we go. Over to you, Frank.
Here we go.
What fighting game debuted in arcades in 1992, introducing gamers to Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Sonya Blade, and Johnny Cage?
Mortal Kombat. We did the thing a couple weeks ago.
We did cover Mortal Kombat.
Oh, you can.
All right, that's Street Fighter.
Kombat.
All right, Nick, you got some more making up to do. Here you go. Your next question. What 1990 film about a Civil War soldier... It's Jesus. Let me start that over. Well, I just saw that it's another Kevin Costner question. What 1990 film about a Civil War soldier's friendship with a Sioux tribe was directed by and starred Kevin Costner?
I don't even guess. I have no idea. Not even a guess.
Frank?
Civil War movie?
No, it's about a Civil War soldier's friendship with a Sioux tribe. Yeah, it's not a Civil War movie.
Oh, it's the Wolves. Dancing with Wolves.
There you go.
There you go.
Coming up back on the board now. All right,
Waterworld.
Frank, over to you. Bodyguard. In what sport were professionals allowed to compete for the first time in the 1992 Summer Games, leading to a USA Dream Team?
The basketball.
No, I'm sorry, we were looking for curling.
Yeah. Really.
No, you got it. All right, 8 points.
Backgammon.
We'll do a couple more here. We'll see if we.
However, I'd love to see NBA players play curling. That would be very entertaining.
That would be fantastic. Yeah, we'll do a couple more here, just for shits and giggles. What Icky, this one's for you. What geological feature was hidden in the... What the fuck?
Butt plug.
What geological feature was hidden in the A in the original logo for Amazon, which was founded by Jeff Bezos in 1994?
Original? Let's see here.
A geological feature.
Geological figure?
Yeah.
I don't know. What was it?
Frank, you want to guess?
Was it the Golden Gate Bridge?
No. It was the Amazon River.
That's not geological. What am I talking
Oh,
about?
that makes sense.
The Amazon River for Amazon.
I was thinking San Francisco for some reason. Wasn't that where he was from?
Is he from there?
Wasn't that where it was created? Was like San Francisco was Amazon?
I don't know. It's where they're all now. All right, we'll do one more, Frank, here for you. Frank, you already got the win, so we'll just move on. What underdog New England basketball team upset Duke University 77-74 to win the 1999 NCAA tournament championship?
Connecticut, right? Is that with Jesus from
Shuttlesworth? Ray Allen?
Yep.
It was the first national basketball championship of the Huskies. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for the trivia there. It's time to move on. It's time for movie draft. I was going to get some different music for this, but I got lazy and I was doing other things, so I decided not to. So we're doing a movie draft. Icky's been working in radio. You bounced around a little bit. You've done mostly rock, but you've done other formats, right?
Yeah, I've done a lot of pop spent a lot of time with Pop as well.
He likes doing pop. I, for a time there, actually did country.
Oof, I couldn't do that.
Not the greatest time in the world, but it paid the bills. The ones that I didn't have when I lived in my mom's basement at 35. All right, here we go. So we're doing rock and roll movie draft. Now, we're trying to build the best triple feature here of movies where rock and roll is the central theme. And I was wondering if we were going to include documentaries or not, but I figured I would just ask you guys kind of right here now, documentaries, yay or nay?
I'm saying nay.
Icky says
Don't matter to me.
All right.
That could be a whole different conversation in its own.
It could be. All right, so documentaries are off the board. Frank, you actually won, so you get to go first. What is your first movie in the rock and roll movie draft?
Going with The Doors.
Oh.
I love Val Kilmer's performance in there, even if it was extremely exaggerated.
I mean, is that really all that surprising, though?
No, because it was Oliver Stone's movie, and all of his movies are overly exaggerated.
All right, well, The Doors is off the board. Icky, what is your first choice?
You didn't have a poster for it, huh?
Oh, shit. Yeah, it's right here. Sorry. I
I was
brought
about
it
to
up.
say, I got you twice. Damn it.
No,
Airborne.
That's an obvious one.
You have
All right.
posters for like every movie possible? That's pretty impressive.
No, I try.
Right.
I go and I try to find, and then these fuckers always try to come up with some weird ass movie
Especially
that I've never
Alan.
heard of, like Airborne.
How did you
I'm
not
going to
hear?
start it off with Wayne's World.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I didn't have Wayne's World, but I did have
Wayne's World 2.
Wayne's World 2. But I'll give you Wayne's World.
Okay. Now, why did you opt for the sequel over the main one?
Because they were planning the festival in the second
Wayne
one.
Fest.
They were doing
Wayne Stock,
they're doing
right?
that.
Wayne Stock.
Anna says Bohemian Rhapsody, by the way, which I'll talk about it now. Like, a decent movie, but they really butchered the crap out of the actual Queen story. I'm assuming you guys.
Absolutely. They got very creative with that one.
I mean, the fact that it made it seem like all in one day. He comes out to his parents, he shows them his boyfriend, and then he comes out to the band that he has HIV, and then he like performs a Live Aid, like all in one fell swoop.
Loop.
Well, and really,
Sloop.
they ignored all of the constant fighting the band had, and made them look like they were the best of friends for the most part of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, the only time that they really kind of branched out to the sort of the infighting of the band was when he was doing his solo thing, and that was very little touched on that.
But they spent so much time fighting over royalties, and I wrote that, and you wrote that. That was a lot of their existence.
Now, Rami Malek did a fantastic job, I thought.
He did.
All right, so my first movie, I'm going Almost Famous, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
April.
Absolutely love this
I
freaking
am a
movie.
golden god.
As far as my second pick, since I get to go back to back, there are a lot of friggin' options on here.
Big.
I got to do it. I'm going Pink Floyd, The Wall.
What a weird poster.
It's a weird poster.
Weird movie. Have you guys never seen The Wall?
Yeah, I have. It is. I mean,
have.
it was early 80s acid trips.
Oof, that was brutal. All right, Icky, we're back to you, my man. What is your second choice in the rock and roll movie draft?
I'm going to go with Purple Rain.
Ooh.
You know what I like about that movie is when he goes to like knock the father or whatever that guy is off the girl, and he's just like, ugh. He runs up and just like, like hits the guy. He's all 5'2".
He's out there hooping it up with Charlie Murphy.
Oh.
All right, Frank, you get to go back to back, my man.
Yeah, I was thinking Wayne's World 2, but I'm gonna go That Thing You Do.
Ooh, such a good movie.
Because, I mean, they even had their own hit song come from that movie.
That's true. They did.
I mean, not too many movies can claim that.
And when that movie was out, you could not escape that song if you wanted to.
No, it was everywhere.
So Anna is asking in the chat. First of all, she says that obviously they shortened Bohemian Rhapsody to fit the story. It's not acceptable. Make it a miniseries. But she says, is there a documentary to recommend about Queen? I don't think I've ever actually seen a documentary on Queen.
I'm sure there's some out there, though.
I'm sure it's somewhere, but not a significant one that I can think of.
Yeah.
No, nothing on top of my head. She's also asking if American Graffiti counts.
The documentary for Queen is Spinal Tap.
Yeah, there you go. This is Final Tap. All right, Frank, what's your third pick?
You probably won't have this, but I'm going with heavy metal.
Oh, did I download it? Fuck. No, I don't. Shit.
Back to my
Oh,
list.
no.
All right.
Ah, suck it.
Cartoon boobies. Such a weird movie, but such a great trip, man.
John Candy.
Yeah.
Heavily involved in that
Seeing
movie.
the alien snorting the friggin' space.
Oh, my
cocaine.
God. I love that freaking movie, dude. Love it.
I have it on DVD. I even have like Heavy Metal 2000. It's pretty decent. But that first one, that was the first one. Like, yeah, teenage me was like, oh, there's cartoon boobies.
I think all of us were like that at that point.
And the South Park episode they made based on heavy metal was one of the best ones they've ever done.
Oh, fuck. I haven't seen that.
Oh,
How
that's worth watching.
long ago?
It was a long time, probably 15 years ago in the earlier episodes. But Kenny starts getting high off of cat pee, and then he transforms into the heavy metal world, and he's just trying to find boobies.
Okay, now I know what I'm watching later tonight. All right, Icky, what is your third and final pick?
I'll be very, very impressed if you have this one ready to go. I'm going to go with Detroit Rock City.
Oh, you mean that one right there, baby?
Oh, I'm impressed. Very impressed. Love that movie.
Oh,
So
dude,
fun.
the scene when they're in the bathroom, I think that's one of those scenes that when I was watching, because I think the first time I saw this was I rented it Blockbuster or something like that. And
Dating statement right there.
that scene, I think we rewound it a couple of times. We were laughing so fucking hard at that girl just blowing up that bathroom, and all the guys were like, we don't know what to do, man. Great movie. All right, some honorable mentions in here, and there's a lot. Obviously, Anna already mentioned this one in the chat. We do have School of Rock, which we did have last week for Jack Black. Same for High Fidelity. That one, I guess, would probably count as well. You have Airheads.
Yep.
Great movie.
You can go down the Beatles path. We do have like things like A Hard Day's Night, which when you look at lists of best rock and roll movies, this one's generally kind of towards the top.
Do you have Cadillac Records in there?
I don't.
I
thought about it.
Empire Records.
Empire Records.
Oh, that would have been a great one too. I didn't grab that one. That one, oh, I fucking love. I did a whole video on Empire Records. I love that movie. Here's Bohemian Rhapsody for you there, Anna.
Mm-hmm.
What else do we have on here? Of course, you can go down the older rock path. You got Elvis. If anybody wanted to go down that
10 movies about Elvis.
that road. You also had Great Balls of Fire out there.
La Bamba.
You mean like that one right there?
Yeah.
By the way, did you
Selena.
know that they're not just going blah, 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 blah. That's not what they're doing?
What are they saying?
Oh, hold on here.
We're singing. I like some extra queso with my chip.
It's para bailar.
There you go.
It's coming. It's like come dance or something like that. It's to
Right.
dance.
Bailar
Yeah,
is
it's to
dance,
dance the La Bamba. So the whole time everybody thought it was ba 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 ba. It's para bailar.
If you don't
Okay.
have Selena on there, El Paso will boot you from their city.
Oh, dude, I got some of the most hate mail I've ever gotten in my entire radio career one day when I made fun of her on the air. And all I did was I go, overrated.
I always confused that one song of hers. I always thought it was Madonna sitting up in my room.
Yeah?
But for some reason, she sounds like Madonna. I thought that was like a Madonna song for the longest time. I don't
Man,
know why.
I'm telling you, you can't go anywhere in public down here or any sort of a party and not hear Bitty Bitty Bum Bum.
Bitty bitty bum bum.
Did you guys ever see this movie?
Yeah, that was a good movie.
I see that one.
So I just found this out today. in the States, it was called pirate radio, like in North America, but elsewhere it was called The Boat That Rocked. So the whole premise of the movie is that they had a boat to run a rock radio station over in England because they wouldn't allow rock on the radio. And so like that's truly where pirate radio came from, was by having a ship offshore to where they were in international waters and they were broadcasting onto land. It's a great movie. We're giving Icky all kinds of movies to watch here tonight.
The only thing that was weird about it was when they make that one DJ, like that one intern's father or something, or like they hint to the guy from Wayne's World 2, who's Ozzy wanted brown M&Ms, and I had to go out in the middle of the night to find brown M&Ms for Ozzy Osbourne. It was a great Bengal tiger.
I went to high school with a guy that could recite that scene word for word. That whole scene with that guy. All right, what other honorable mentions do we have here? I mean, obviously you got Elton John, you got Rocket Man.
The only thing I didn't like about that was I hate movies that where they're talking about, you know, their past, but they start singing and it becomes like theatrical. And
you mean like a musical?
Yeah, dude.
You don't like musicals? You know what I don't like about that? The music.
Not when you're doing like you're doing the history of somebody, like, you know, like the Johnny Cash movies, or where they're trying to, you know, this is where he started from, this is how he got to where, and then they cut into like like a 12 dance off set going on. You're like, okay, it throws you off of the movie, I guess, a little bit. Like, I'm learning here.
I have another honorable mention here. Sid and Nancy, fantastic performance in this movie by Gary Oldman, by the way.
That's a great
and that's going to be a movie draft that's going to be super freaking difficult, is doing Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman.
Think about that guy's entire catalog and just how amazing he is in every role he's ever been in.
He's good.
I wasn't quite sure if this one counted or not, but I have it anyway just because I wanted to bring up this movie because I freaking love this movie. It's SLC Punk.
I've seen it once. It was a pretty decent flick.
I think that counts. That squeezes it in.
Right? Yeah, I figured it would.
Yeah.
Punk scene.
Again, if you've never seen SLC Punk, so good. It's so stinking good. The ending is gut-wrenching, but it's really good. Other honorable mentions. The Dirt. I was actually entertained by this movie.
The movie was all right, but compared to the book, it's absolute shit.
Well, yeah.
I think I know what your third movie is, though.
What do you think it is?
Rock of Ages.
No, but I have that right here.
Which actually, Tom Cruise did not do that bad of a job in that movie.
Oh, I got Rock of Ages. There's Rock Star, if you want.
That was such a weird movie.
Rock and Roll High School as well. That's with the Ramones.
Mm-hmm. Rock and Roll High School.
But actually, my third choice has already been mentioned.
Wayne's World 2.
No.
High Fidelity.
I cannot believe.
Final Snap.
I cannot believe that nobody picked that.
Well, I knew you probably would, so I went with Heavy Metal instead. That was mine.
And we mentioned it earlier, so I wanted to skip it.
Oh, I see. You guys let me have it. Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for your charity in the rock and roll movie draft.
You're welcome, sir. You should have gone with Selena. Now you're getting evicted from El Paso.
And I totally forgot too. There's a couple other, like Tommy was another honorable mention here. That's the Who. You also had to Walk the Line as well.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one. My friend, though, for the longest time after seeing that, would think that, or would try to act like Johnny Cash, and it was the weirdest thing in the world.
I could see that getting annoying really fast.
I think a lot of people did that after that movie came out. That was not exclusive to just him.
It was like that for a few years. It was like that for a few years. Like,
it was the
we
thing.
had to tell him, like, you gotta relax, my man. You're not Johnny Cash.
Well, those are going to be.
We were talking about Jack Black earlier. What about Pick a Destiny?
We do have that here.
It's a terrible movie, but it makes me laugh so hard.
Yeah, actually, I think Jeff picked that last week for one of his Jack Black movies.
He did.
Okay.
I mean, you got Dave Grohl as the devil, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
So,
Well, he was the devil in the music video tribute. So
yeah. This is just a tribute.
he just played his role again.
All right, so we got Frank's triple feature of rock and roll movies. It's The Doors, That Thing You Do, and Heavy Metal. Talk about just like up and down on that one.
Hey, look who you're looking at, man.
Icky's he's got Wayne's World, Purple Rain, and Detroit Rock City. And I have Almost Famous, Pink Floyd The Wall, and this is Spinal Tap. happen. That is going to do it for our rock and roll triple feature. And that's also going to do it for the live stream. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. Icky, thank you for stopping by, my man.
Thank you so much for having me. That was fun.
We do this every Wednesday.
Even though I did so terribly in trivia.
You're more than welcome back anytime you'd like. Any parting words? Anything you want to plug? The Icky Life there?
I'm just starting a podcast myself, theickylife.com, or you can find me on any social media as The Icky Life. Come check it out.
So, but also really quickly, so for anybody who doesn't understand, like we mentioned, like full name being Ichabod. So the name came from when you were an intern at KUFO, and it was Craig the Dog Face Boy, right?
Yeah, at the time it was a hard rock station, and my real name's Andrew, but people called me Andy that time, and they were telling me that there's nothing rock and roll about Andy, so I had to have some kind of nickname. And because I'm a tall, nerdy fuck with a big nose, they named me Ichabod, like Ichabod Crane.
All right.
And then, of course, Snoop Dogg dubbed it Icky, the stickiest.
Yeah, and then the Snoop Dogg changed it forever.
Of the Icky. All right, well, that's going to do it. Don't forget, I got to plug the tiers. Oh, also, you're going to need to send me, I could just send you a package to the Cumulus building, Icky, because I have my own merchandise. So if you're a member of the channel.
Nice, you should, yeah.
If you're
Please
a member
I'm sure you remember the address.
I'll have to Google it. I still remember that I did live on Bertelstein, I think. I lived kind of on the outskirts of town, if I remember correctly. But yeah, so if you're a member here on YouTube, there's two different member tiers. For 99 cents a month, if you're a channel supporter, you get yourself a sticker pack. That's where you get the History of Rock sticker. That's where you get the real Brandalorian sticker. And that is where you get your Cross-Eyed Bear sticker. And I'll tell you about the Cross-Eyed Bear when we're off the air. Everybody on the stream's heard it 1,000 times over. And then if you are a member Lorian, that's $4.99 a month. You not only get the sticker pack, but I also have t-shirts with these logos on them. You can pick which one you want. Sizes are not guaranteed, but I got a shit ton of these t-shirts. So I'm going to start unloading them. I don't even think I sent you one. Did I, Frank?
No.
Did I? I got to. Okay, I'll give me your address. I'll send you one too. And Anna, whenever you move, let me know when you've moved, and we'll get you yours as well, because she's a member Lorian of the channel. But on that note, make sure you check out the Icky Life Instagram and Facebook.
Yes, everywhere. For pretty much anything, it's going to be the Icky Life or IckyLife.com.
When do episodes drop?
On Thursday, so we're going to drop one tomorrow.
Ooh, and what are we talking about?
This one, actually, we run through a series of drug experiences.
Hey, all right. That's my jam. All right, so make sure you check out that episode. Icky's got that dropping tomorrow. I'm assuming pretty much anywhere you get your podcasts.
Yep, everywhere you get your podcasts is drop at noon Pacific time.
Absolutely. Make sure you guys check that out. Have yourselves a fantastic Wednesday. Peace out, everybody.
Deuces.
And this is when we wait to see if the computer will actually turn off, because it's still streaming. Icky, this is actually at the point in time when I clicked stop
Real
streaming, and we got to learn that my buddy Alan wished that he had a penis large enough to scratch his stomach.
Like the
He didn't realize that we were still on the air, and it's not. Yeah, it's not stopped. There we go.